Sol is my first child. He was born in 2015 and he's the light of my life. It was a normal healthy pregnancy, but we think that during the forceps delivery that the forceps crushed the artery in his left arm. Sadly, by the time he was taken to a specialist unit in Alderhay, it was too late, so he had to lose the arm. My name's Ben, I'm the CEO and founder of Ambionics, and I invented body-powered hydraulics. So I started on my phone from the hospital researching amputation, amputees, prosthetics, and I noticed immediately there was a pattern of rejection in children who didn't receive a prosthetic or a functioning prosthetic early enough, and that just inspired me. And I just remember thinking that's not going to be my Sol. I started to play around with the idea of prosthetics, basic ones, when Sol was 5 weeks of age, and that's just unheard of. But to Sol it's perfectly normal. And I know there's not much technology there, but it hadn't been done, and I think that was the turning point. Just allowing him to hit the toys in his crib. And it was actually one night, I think it was 2 in the morning, and I was thinking through that I saw a spider on the roof, and I remember seeing that spiders use hydraulic pressure to actuate their legs. A fluid solution jumped to mind. It was like a eureka moment. I printed these, which are PVA soluble casts. If you can see the fluid that I'm going to fill with, which would be polyurethane. So print them in that position, and then there's a cavity inside which is filled with liquid polyurethane, which is very cheap and incredibly strong. And 8 hours later, after you've chucked it in water, it can produce this. The idea being that it'll go under the arm. As Sol squishes it, it'll extend or retract the bellow with a spring on the end of it and just open and close the thumb, which is incredibly simple. But to get to this point where I can make them has been an epic journey. And in January, I met up with Paul Soey, who is an Autodesk product designer, and he showed me how he designs prosthetic sockets. I can now create sockets that fit perfectly. So from receiving a scan now from a child anywhere in the world, I can model a socket in about 20 minutes to 40 minutes, depending on, because every child's different and every shape is different, but I'm getting faster and getting better. I want to keep affordable arms available to families who are perhaps around the world don't have access to a prosthetist. And I didn't realise how in South America it's 13 years and there's just nothing available. And so I would like to be able to set up Ambionics in every continent. When I see Sol using his passive, non-functional arm, and I see him using it intuitively, I can just lean down and scratch his leg with it. So I thought, even if this all stops now, I think I've managed to bridge that gap. I wanted to show the world is that this wasn't just something that I'm working on with my son, that I could quite easily help other children. It felt like we hadn't quite hit the right note, but we obviously did with RS, and I'm eternally grateful for the support we've had. Bought a couple of 3D printers. Didn't think filament was be as expensive as it was, particularly some of this, the PVA, for example. It's specialist stuff. The rest is history. I received 15 kilograms of filament, which is enough to do the entire beta trial and most of my prototyping. But to just have somebody look at it and say, that's, that needs a pat on the back, that needs some acknowledgement, that was really, really motivating for me.